It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Oh, yes, it is time for Mornings at 8, and here we are. It's 5 minutes after 8 o'clock on a Monday morning. Unmistakably Monday. It's the start of the work week. You can't really miss it. And here we go. Man, there is so much going. There's so much going on in the news right now, and all of it's really high profile. In the first place, before we do anything else, this is National Avocado Day. Okay, National Avocado Day. So I figure no matter what else happens, you can always hold on to that. That's good news. This is National Avocado Day. And apparently the price of avocados has come down since it's high earlier in the summer. So National Avocado Day, yippee, let's hear it for avocados. A little bit of lemon juice. Ooh, good stuff. Okay, well, let's see. The governor is talking right now about a total ban on vaping. A total ban on vaping. And, yeah, a lot of people getting really sick over vaping. And who knew when this trend started, a couple of years ago, like 2 years ago or 3 years ago or something? I don't know. Anyway, it's been around a while. And he also wants a ban on flavored e-cigarettes or a total ban on vaping. Wow, I read, when was it, yesterday or the day before? I didn't bring this story in with me, but a lot of people turned to vaping to try to get over the smoking addiction. Instead of smoking regular cigarettes, they would try vaping. And now, this is unbelievable, but a lot of people who tried vaping to get over regular cigarettes are now switching to regular cigarettes again to try to get over vaping. So I guess you can't win. Either you're smoking or you're vaping. Whichever you're doing is bad for you. But apparently a lot of people are getting really sick and some are dying over this vaping thing. So there you go. And let me see, speaking about addictions, how about Purdue Pharma? Right? Filed for bankruptcy. They are the object of more than 1,000 lawsuits. And Purdue Pharma, of course, is the company that was making OxyContin, which is probably at the heart of the opioid crisis, which is really and truly a crisis. More, I think you read the figures, and this figure is that, and that figure is this, but it's approximately 200,000 people have died from opioids, and it's pretty serious stuff. As a matter of fact, on the Newsmaker program coming up this morning, Brian will have a very, very much related story. Brian, who's going to be on the Newsmaker again?
We have a Hartsville military veteran and his doctor. Talking about a military injury from 1989.
Okay.
And he says he was on opioid medicines and pretty laid up from this injury. He was shot by a cartel in either South America or Central America in 1989.
So he was on opioids.
He was on opioids for years for the pain, and now that's totally changed because of this medical implant device.
Oh, wow. That should be really, really interesting. Certainly worth listening to us after the 8:30 news. My wife and I know several people. One lives in California. One in California, one in Montana, and one somewhere else. I don't remember where he lives. But anyway, we know a couple of people, or several people, who are on opioids. And boy, that stuff will mess you up. It will really mess you up. It's terrible. So, yeah, we'll see how all these lawsuits against Purdue Pharma go. That should be pretty interesting. And I normally don't talk about music on the show, okay? But Rick Ocasek, the frontman for the Cars, died over the weekend. And I was stunned to find out that Rick Ocasek was 75 years old. For some reason, I always thought he was younger than me. But Rick Ocasek was 75 years old. And when New Wave music came out, I was so against New Wave music, I can't tell you. I was a real music snob. I really was. for me, it was, let me see, like Southern rock or nothing. If it wasn't Southern rock, it really wasn't music, you know? So I didn't like the Cars at all. But now you hear stuff like, the Cars or any one of these other groups or, I don't know. What was a Flock of Seagulls? A Flock of Seagulls. There was the Cars and a whole raft of others. But now I kind of like it. In retrospect, years later, now it's kind of nostalgic or something. At the time, I hated it. Well, taste change, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so he was 75 years old. And we lost another rocker over the weekend or several days ago. Eddie Money died. Now, Eddie Money, I always liked. I mean, the stuff was really good. And if I recall, I believe Eddie Money was a New York City cop. Eddie Money was a New York City cop. And you're raising your eyebrows. No, it's true. Originally, he was a New York City cop. And he was more interested in rock and roll than being a cop. And so there you go. And he was, Eddie Money was 70 years old. Now you're looking up Eddie Money. Is that what you're doing? Or not?
No. You know who else became a cop?
No, who?
As far as singers go, Bobby Sherman from the late 60s, early 70s.
Oh, Lord. Really? Bobby Sherman?
Yeah.
Bobby Sherman became a cop?
Yes.
Okay.
The easy come, easy go guy.
Yeah, all right. I was never really a Bobby Sherman fan. Yeah, he was kind of on a par with the Monkees, I guess, or something. Bobby Sherman, eh? Okay, fine, very good. Yeah, so Eddie Money's gone too, and his stuff was really good. I do like his stuff. Okay, well, let's enough of that. What are we doing here? Let me see. Boop, boop, booty, boo. Oh, yes, a couple of things going on here in New York. Gun raffles. Gun raffles would be outlawed under a proposed New York bill. And I know that there are a lot of hunters out here, especially in this area, yeah. And a lot of people who own guns, yeah. And a lot of people who buy raffle tickets to get guns, you know. You could win a prize, you could win a gun, a shotgun or something like that. Well, under a proposed bill in Albany, such things would be banned. Now, raffles for guns are often held by, local groups and sportsmen's clubs and all that stuff. But according to a state senator from Long Island, he's a Democrat, Jim Goffrin, I guess. He says, quote, "You shouldn't be able to simply walk into a catering venue and walk out owning a firearm. This law will protect public safety and advance New York's commitment to common sense gun reform." He says, "You can't raffle off a bottle of wine, so you can't raffle off a bottle of wine, so why can you raffle off a weapon?" he asked. And there was a similar ban introduced in the Assembly last year, but it was never passed. And apparently the law will be introduced in the Senate in New York here in coming weeks. So there you go. The NRA has not commented yet on that. So gun raffles would be banned. When I think the legislature goes back into session in January. I'm pretty sure. This is September. So anyway, that could be coming down the pike here. A ban on gun raffles. As I said, that would probably hit a lot of organizations in our area because you see gun raffles all over the place. A lot of hunters in this area, a lot of people who shoot guns, So, okay, that's that. Then we also have, there were dueling demonstrations in Glens Falls. I think this was sometime on Friday. This is Monday. I believe it was Friday. There was a pro-Trump rally and then an anti-Trump rally in Glens Falls. And that was outside the office of U.S. Congressperson Elise Stefanik, outside of her office. And a few dozen members of the recently formed American Patriots Express organization staked out an area in the core of the city to show support for legal immigration and the president. And then another group, which was anti-Trump, staked out the same area, and they were like across the street from each other. And at first it was kind of peaceful, and then it got a little louder and just a little more vociferous, I guess the word would be. And they started to yell at each other. And then some of them crossed the street and they got in each other's face. And they were yelling and screaming, pro-Trump, anti-Trump, and this and that. So eventually the cops stepped in, and there you go, and I cut that thing short. But you know that, as time goes on, there are going to be more and more such things going on. And what else have we here? How about, this is from the New York Post. Chocolate milk, right? Kids love chocolate milk. Well, New York City schools want to ban chocolate milk. Holy cow. I mean, really? Anyway, so the City Department of Education wants to ban chocolate milk from public schools. Citing health concerns, including sugar content, schools Chancellor Richard Carranza and his underlings are pushing for a white milk-only policy, Department of Education sources say. The thinking is that, who's this? A Department of Education source said, the thinking is that these kids are already getting too much sugar. Why are they getting it in their milk? And higher-ups are discussing what to do and how to do it. So other places have banned chocolate milk from schools. San Francisco, of course, Washington, D.C., both have banned flavored milk. And concern over dairy has come up before in New York City, where students' milk options were limited to low-fat and non-fat in 2006. Boy, yummy. That sounds really good. Anyway, so now they want to ban chocolate milk. So, let me see. Well, a 10-year-old kid, PS58 in Carroll Gardens, that's in Brooklyn, said it would be awful to take away people's chocolate milk. Okay, I can see your point. The Katerina Dinamasa. And her mother agreed that removing chocolate milk won't solve schools' dietary problems. And anyway, so it's going back and forth. And who's this? Now her dad, oh, this must be fun. Her dad is for a chocolate milk ban. Her mother's against it, and her dad is for it. And her dad said, his name is Luke, as I said, not to be a health Nazi, but it's not the worst idea. Okay, so I don't know. I was a kid. I think all kids have had chocolate milk. Chocolate milk is good. I think it tastes absolutely wonderful. And do you remember, I thought of that this morning when I found this story. Years and years ago, there was something called flavor straws. Flavor straws. I don't know if you had them here, but we had them on Long Island. But some company made these straws, and they would be a tiny little chunk of chocolate thing. It probably wasn't chocolate. Who knows what it was? A petroleum byproduct. Whatever it was allegedly chocolate. And they stick it in the straw. Then you put the straw in the milk and you drink the milk, and whatever you drank, it tasted like chocolate because it went over this piece of chocolate or something. And even at the time, I thought it was kind of suspicious. It didn't really taste like, I don't know what it was. I have no idea. But it was a flavor straw, and I think it came in two flavors, chocolate and strawberry. The chocolate probably wasn't chocolate, and the strawberry probably wasn't strawberry. But anyway, a kid, you flavor the milk and a kid will drink it. But apparently in New York, it's bad for your health. And, yes. Oh, wait a minute. Hold it. There's more. Let me see. Los Angeles eliminated chocolate milk in 2011. Oh. And then they brought it back in 2017 after finding kids were rejecting milk entirely. So if it wasn't chocolate, then they didn't want to drink the milk at all, and that's it in Los Angeles. So there we are. Okay, ban on chocolate milk in New York City schools, possibly. And speaking of school, a number of months ago, it was when it was just Fridays at 8, I had a story where in New York City officially recognizes 31 gender identities. 31. Not just male or female, but 31. So, okay, fine, whatever you want to do, hey, it's your life, there you go. So I thought, wow, 31, man, that gets kind of confusing, I think. Really? 31? Okay, fine. But that's really nothing. Because in the UK, the BBC is teaching primary school children that there are over 100 genders. 100. That's what the BBC is teaching primary school children. There are over 100 genders. And that's as part of its Teach video series, which has some concerned parents and observers up in arms. It says here, declares a head teacher responsible for child. Okay, there are so many gender identities, declares the head teacher in response to a child's question. We know that we have got male and female, but there are over 100, if not more, gender identities now. Now, the video for school children ages 9 through 12, is part of the 9 new BBC Teach films produced as support material for the personal, social, and health education curriculum in UK schools. And that's been kind of attacked by a number of critics. Let me see if I can find a halfway decent one I can read on the air. BBC is indulging in the propagation of misinformation. Who writes this? Celia Walden. She's a columnist. And thereby betraying its journalistic duty to deal not in fads, but facts. And by willfully warping their mind, she continues, BBC is contributing to making the new generation of children, quote, as self-obsessed as the supposed grown-ups. Self-expression no longer means appreciating individuality and producing something of higher cultural value, she writes, but folding in on yourself and behaving in an unashamedly selfish fashion. So, according to the BBC, that it's teaching these children, there are more than 100 Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. Everybody's individual, fine, hey. But it can get a little confusing. Because how would you, there are a number of, I don't know. Probably, what's the population of I think right now we have, 7.3 billion people on the planet. Probably the easiest answer to all that would have 7.3 billion gender identities. And then everybody would be happy and there wouldn't be any controversy or anything like that. Okay, fine. Insurance, everybody needs insurance, no matter what gender. Okay, everybody needs insurance. And you can do no better than the Ryan Agency. They have offices in Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville. They're local. They are not beholden to any one insurance company. They have all these companies there at their disposal, and they will find the best one for you because everyone is an individual, right? Check. They're insurance experts. They offer sound, as I said, unbiased advice. They're friendly, they're local, they're really nice people. They are the Ryan Agencies.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
Check a week 2 in the NFL Sunday night. It was the Falcons holding off the Eagles for a 24-20 victory. Atlanta quarterback Matt Ryan had 3 touchdown passes, 2 went to wide receiver Julio Jones. In late action, the NFC title game rematch saw the Rams beat the Saints 27-9. LA is off to a 2-0 start for New Orleans. Star quarterback Drew Brees was knocked out of the game in the first quarter with a thumb injury. He'll see a specialist on Monday. Chiefs down the Raiders 28-10. Kansas City's 2-0 on the season. Bears down the Broncos 16-14 on a field goal as time expires. Early action, Patriots beat the Dolphins 43-0. New England's 2-0. Tom Brady had 2 touchdown passes, 1 to Antonio Brown. Cowboys are 2-0 after beating the Redskins 31-21. Seahawks are 2-0. They beat the Steelers 28-26. Pittsburgh quarterback Ben Roethlisberger left the game in the second quarter with an elbow injury on an MRI Monday. Packers are 2-0. They beat the Vikings 21-16. Bills are 2-0. They down the Giants 28-14. Ravens 2-0 after beating the Cardinals 23-17. And the 49ers are 2-0. They down the Bengals 41-17.
From the Fox Business Network, General Motors shares are sharply lower before the Wall Street open. GM workers at 31 plants are striking. The contract for the 46,000 workers expired on Sunday morning. Blackstone Group is buying Dream Global, a Canadian real estate investment trust with properties in Europe. Blackstone will pay more than $4.5 billion. Crude oil prices have moved higher with concerns about supply after drone strikes attacked 2 production facilities in Saudi Arabia. President Trump has authorized use of U.S. stockpiles of oil to stabilize supply if needed. Stock futures are lower this morning. The Dow Jones Industrials added 37 on Friday. The Nasdaq dropped 17, and the S&P was down 2. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Ever wonder why Europeans speak so many languages? Maybe it's because they use Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app in Europe. Babbel's 10 to 15-minute lessons and award-winning technology can have you speaking Spanish, French, or German within weeks.
I always thought I was bad at languages, but after using Babbel, I can tell you I was just taught the wrong way.
Now, try Babbel free. Go to Babbel.com or download the app. That's Babbel, Babbel.com, or download the app to try for free.
Today at Simmons Rockwell Hyundai, drive away in a new Hyundai Tucson lease for only $229 a month. A new 2019 all-wheel drive Hyundai Tucson SE model equipped with 17-inch alloy wheels, touchscreen media, and rear view monitor. Lease with no money down for $229 a month for 36 months. Only tax and DMV fees are due at signing. Shop Simmons-Rockwell.com.
Okay, and here we are again. Now, Simmons Rockwell. Simmons Rockwell sponsors the halftime shows for the football games by Hornell and Canisteo Greenwood. And Friday it was Canisteo Greenwood over York, 16-14. And of course, we carried that game right here on WLEA, as we always do. Good stuff. And here's just a little portion of what it sounded like Friday.
It'll bring up 3rd down and 6. Here's Rocky Santiago. Looks like barking out orders. He sends Chase Weeks into the slot, so it'll be an empty backfield. Santiago, the lone man. He takes the snap. He's going to drop back, fire quickly to the outside. Here's Hotailing. And he got the first down, stays in bounds. Here's Hotailing racing down the sideline, and he's in for the touchdown. 39 yards on the catch and run for Jacob Hotailing, and CG gets on the board. Santiago gonna throw. Now he's gonna step up and take off and now throw it. Pass is caught by Hotailing and he's gonna get away. Hotailing staying in bounds, staying on his feet. Hotailing fighting forward. He won't go down. Jacob Hotailing maybe down to the 1-yard line or so. Ooh, what a play that was. That's heart right there. That's just pure heart. Refusing to go down. They had to nearly horse collar him just to get him on the ground, did York Pavilion, but a lone man in the backfield. Here's Santiago. He's going to drop, throw to the end zone, deflected and caught for the touchdown. Dale Hotailing comes up with the reception, so Canisteo Greenwood, like clockwork, marches their way down the field and is able to get it in for the touchdown with 000 on the clock in the first half. CG already forced 2 turnovers in this one. Expect them to be looking for another one here, just trying to get out of here and call this thing a W. Here's Kennedy going to air it out on first down. He finds Stella, who got behind the defense. Riley Stella, the big man, into CG territory. He stiff arms Updike, still going, and now he loses the ball. A fight for it. It looks like Dale Hotailing's going to scoop it up.
Wow, you got to love high school football. I mean, you have got to love high school football. The excitement, it's so real. You watch or listen to pros, the NFL, and it's great football. I mean, it really is. But there's such an excitement and enthusiasm in high school football. I mean, there really is. It really cannot be beat, And we carry, if there's a game anywhere that we don't carry, I think we carry every single game in the area, So there you go. That was heard right here on WLEA on Friday. So that's it. Okay, how much time have I probably have time to do this. Let's see here. Texas, where did I find this? And it's got to be here. Oh, this is on Fox News. Duh. A Texas woman accused of exposing her son to unneeded medical tests and procedures, including taking him to hospitals more than 320 times. 320 times, has pleaded guilty to recklessly causing injury to a child, according to a report. This lady pled guilty in Dallas County Court, according to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. So the 30-year-old lady, who faces up to 20 years in prison, sentencing will be in October. Child Protective Services removed the boy from her care in 2017 after it was alerted by a Dallas hospital that medical staff determined he didn't have cancer or many of the symptoms that his mother reported. In its petition for removal, the newspaper reported the boy had been to hospitals and pediatric centers in Dallas and Houston at least 323 times in all, and he had 13 major surgeries between 2009 and 2016. 13 major surgeries. And the boy's father obviously they were estranged or something, said, "I'm happy that the woman decided to do the right thing. Eventually the lies had to stop." So now the father is the sole managing conservator of the now 10-year-old. Wow. 323 times in all the kid had been to a hospital. That's amazing. There are strange people out there. Okay, that's it for this morning show, and I will see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.
If you're tired of overpaying to heat your home or have unreliable service, it's time to call Countryside Propane. At Countryside Propane, we are known for exceptional service, fair pricing, and no hidden fees. Switch today and your first tank fill is just $159.9 per gallon. James D. of Lindley, New York writes, "I was amazed by the excellent customer service Countryside provided yesterday." Call today and lock in a low rate with no hidden fees. Call Countryside Propane, 607-527-3030.
Fox News, I'm Lillian Wu. At GM plants, UAW members striking for the first time in 12 years this morning. Union leadership and GM getting ready to resume talks.
Auto workers, they're asking for fair wages, a share of profit, but more specifically, health care. This is a very, very contentious issue. They expect at this point, GM, they want their employees to start paying a little bit more in health care.
Fox's Christina Parsinaville as President Trump tweeting Justice Brett Kavanaugh's been assaulted by lies and fake news. This as the New York Times walks back some of its story on accusations against Kavanaugh.
Fresh allegations surfacing in a new book claiming a former Kavanaugh classmate and Clinton-connected lawyer Max Stier witnessed previously unreported sexual misconduct. Turns out the allegations were uninvestigated and the alleged victim does not remember the incident.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. America is listening to Fox News.
With the latest news, I'm Brian O'Neill. A couple of major accidents over the weekend. Numerous media outlets report there was a rollover accident on I-86 in Bath. The Wellsville Regional Newspaper reports there was a two-vehicle head-on crash in the town of Franklinville over in Cattaraugus County. They say 6 people, including both drivers, were injured. Some people ended up at Erie County Medical Center in Boston.